So what are we going to go over in this course? Okay, from beginning to end, we're going to be basically bringing you from nothing, from having never really done any kind of web development, up to the point where you can fairly confidently put a map type spatial application onto the internet, maintain it, update it, make it look kind of nice, and get a good grasp, feel confident about building another one and building one on your own. So we're going to be going over, the idea here is we're going to be starting from zero web development, and we're going to focus on GIS web applications as we go along. But before we really get into that mapping GIS side of things, we have to go over a lot of just very, very basic stuff with web development. So we're going to be going over the basics of the internet. How do we code as developers online? So the core languages that you might have heard or maybe not would be HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, or JS. We're going to be going over these separately and giving a bunch of examples and kind of wrapping up. We're going to be going over like how do you debug things when they don't work? How do you actually develop? Like what kind of programs do you need to use in order to develop? What kind of websites should you go to for help and different types of answers to when you get stuck? And how do you solve problems when they crop up when you're developing? We're also going to go into actually like putting the website online, which can be a big challenge. It's one thing to make it in what we call locally on just your machine, but then you also need to upload it to the internet somewhere, and there's hosting involved, or maybe you need to figure out WordPress or some kind of other system like that you're going to be uploading things into. So we're going to go over a couple different ways that you can upload files, make hosting, and then update them over time. Along with that also comes storing code. Where are you going to store code so you can update it? We're not going to get too deep into all the different tools that exist out there, but just to kind of give you a bit of a taste so that if you continue along, you're not like completely unfamiliar with all the terms and systems that we use as web developers. After we kind of figured out a lot of these basics and got a first version online, we're going to do like some intermediate level topics in this same system of HTML, JavaScript, and CSS, which is basically just to like make your website look a lot nicer. So that's going to involve what we call frameworks or libraries in CSS and JavaScript. And these are just like prepackaged collections of code of different types that are going to make your site a lot easier to make, and where you don't have to like reinvent the wheel every single time that you develop a website. We'll get into what that means once we start getting there, and you'll be really happy that we're going over it. So once we do all that, you're going to have like a decently nice looking little website, but there's going to be no mapping side to it. And so from there, we have the basis, we have that foundation, and we can move up into the web map side of things. So we're going to be going over the different types of web maps that are out there, how you import them into a project, how you get them started, which ones are free, why should you choose one or the other. We're going to make a first one in a couple of different libraries and a couple of different of these systems that are available, and I'm going to kind of help you choose one that you want to use for your project. And then we're going to basically, after we have just some of the basics, we're going to go over like how do you figure out what you want to do, because chances are that this course isn't going to tell you exactly your web map, because your web map is going to be your own idea. But hopefully I can give you enough of the different tools and also teach you enough about where to go that you figure out where you need to go. And there are some common patterns or themes that we see in web maps, things like searching for locations, or maybe heat maps, or having some 3D terrain, showing points, having directions, these kinds of things that are fairly common that at least lead into understanding a lot more about how web maps are built, or having a bunch of examples that can help you get going. So once we do that, you're pretty much set. You can pretty much start putting your map together. We're also going to go over data and like what's the importance of data, how do you get data, and what kind of formats are there for data when it comes to web maps. We're going to be going over that so that you really understand things from back to front. And once we get to there, you're pretty much ready to get rolling on your own web map, and then there'll just be a couple advanced topics, more advanced functionality, but still stuff that I see fairly regularly with web maps. And that'll just be a launching point, hopefully, for learning more. And I'll have more advanced courses or more specialized courses on some of those specific topics once you get that far. But you'll be happy to be up and running at that point, and I really love to see what you're going to do with this knowledge. So that's overall what we're going to go over in this course, and so let's get into it.